Welcome to Shawnee Grows, where I encourage you to learn as you grow. There's always something to read about, to research, to watch, to try. Tonight, let's talk about victory gardens and survival gardens. What are the differences? Which one is right for you in this day and age? Team Replay, I want to hear from you. What's on your must-grow crops list for a victory garden or a survival garden? Which would you grow? Why? Have you done this before? Put your experience in the chat, in the description. Let's see who's with us live tonight. Now, there was a comment that disappeared. I think it was the name Ernie, and she is a gardener in Arkansas, if I remember right. So if you join us or if you're in the replay, I saw your comment. We have Fox It Outdoors. I wasn't expecting the time to be 8 p.m. Mountain Time. I dead honest thought it was set for Eastern Time or Central. So I said it, I have Central Time, and so I'm assuming YouTube just tells you your time. Like it, whatever's it. And hello, good to see you, Cliff. How's your weather in New Mexico? Storms, Radios, and Cats has a happy face. Here, Miss Sharon, I see you. Thank you. Diva in the dirt made it. Diva is still having dinner and have to go and shape the bread, so I'll be listening from my phone. Perfect. Miss Sharon says, live chat or all messages, y'all. Yeah, get out of that top chat. Why do we have top chat as an option, YouTube? Ernie Hatmaker. Yes, Miss Sharon. And she is a gardener. I think it was Arkansas. John Doe 2023. Good evening, everyone. Grant McIntosh made it in. Hey. Good to see everyone. Thumbs up while you come in. Let's start talking about the history of Victory Gardens. And of course, while I talk, I shall share an image with you. We are at the Shawnee Grows show, of course. So let's see. Maybe you've seen some of these before. Is this the page? That looks like the page. Maybe you haven't. While that's up, I will read. Victory Gardens were vegetable gardens planted on residential and public properties as a way to supplement food rations and the national food supply during the First World War. The gardens not only provided an important addition to national food security, but they were also a great morale booster, giving people a way to contribute to the war effort and feel good about the accomplishment of growing their food. It's estimated that over 5 million victory gardens were planted during World War I. During World War II, victory gardens played an even more important part in the U.S. food supply. An estimated 1/3 of all the vegetables produced in the U.S. came from more than 20 million victory gardens established during World War II. You believe that? Even Eleanor Roosevelt planted a victory garden on the White House lawn. Victory gardens helped reduce the food costs needed to feed the troops. Americans were encouraged to plant gardens as part of their patriotic duty, but most said they planted to provide food for their families. In the U.S., there are 2 remaining World War II gardens still in operation, supporting their communities today. The Fenway Victory Gardens near Boston, Massachusetts, and the Dowling Community Garden in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So do we have modern-day victory gardens, folks? The COVID-19 pandemic crisis has led to a renewed interest in home food production. People are starting gardens and bolster their personal food security. More and more communities are planting community gardens that provide additional food to the local community, as well as educate community members about planting and sustainability. So we have 5 reasons to plant a victory garden. Increase food production, especially since COVID, many areas have experienced food shortages, either due to reduced production because of lockdowns or challenges with shipping in the supply chain. Number 2, supplement your own food supply. Growing your own food allows you to rely less on others for fresh produce and nutrition for your family. Now, with the caveat of if you cannot grow your own food, please rely on others to grow locally. Head up those farmers, the farmers markets, the CSAs. Save money. Homegrown food can significantly cut down on grocery bills, especially as food prices continue to rise. A small investment in seeds and gardening supplies can yield a season's worth of fresh produce. Now, I know I hear you guys that want to argue and say, no, it doesn't save money. Not year one. Year one, you might have to go get a tool at a garage sale, and you have to buy a packet of seeds, and you might have to buy a watering can and a bucket to capture rain, and you are going to have to spend a little bit more money. But after year one, you're set. Know what you grow. Number 4. By growing your own food, you control how it's grown. You can choose non-GMO, heirloom varieties and ensure they're cultivated in safe conditions free from harmful chemicals and contamination. Number 5. Help the environment. The average produce item travels 1,500 miles to your table. Growing your own food reduces the effect of pollution from petroleum fuels and plastic packaging. Here we have an example. I have to go to the page. I can't read it. Let's see here. 2 to 4 people. This is what they suggested. A 15 by 25 feet garden. They do rows, plantings, it looks like. This looks very monocroppy. There's peas, radish, lettuce, carrots, spinach, beans, bush beans, lima beans, Swiss chard, beets, tomatoes. And then there's this example. This one's talking about 4 to 7 people. 25 by 50 feet. Has 2 different plots. There's a walking path in the center of them. And again, with the rows, single rows, there's radishes, carrots, peas, spinach, beans, lima beans, onion sets, tomatoes, lettuce. There's that 1 foot path, beets, kale, bush beans, Swiss chard, cabbage, broccoli, corn is what's listed here. Let's see here. So during World War II, there's some more images, but I have to get to the image. There's the image. It says, War Gardens for Victory. Grow vitamins at your kitchen door. National Garden Bureau, 1943 is that image. Here we have Planted Victory Garden. Our food is fighting. A garden will make your rations go further. Poster, Office of War Information, 1943. Here we have a resident of Southwest Washington, D.C. and her victory garden. Note the service flag in her window. 2 stars means 2 family members serving in the war. June 1943. Look at this one. So here we go. Black and white photo of a garden plot between 2 front doors. The left door is open and we can see a chair, bucket, and clothes. There are curtains in the windows. A line of tools stand against the wall. The garden is in the foreground. Oh my. my thing next to me, my green stock just shifted and it scared me. Victory gardens in Japanese incarceration camps. People of Japanese descent sent to government incarceration camps also planted victory gardens. Photos, written resources, archaeological evidence have identified that an assembly center, war relocation center, and Department of Justice enemy alien camps. Typical of many victory gardens in the center is one includes corn, cucumbers, eggplants, pumpkins, string beans from the Denson Tribune camp newspaper, July 13th, 1943. This is the Dowling Community Garden that we spoke about that still exists today, that was established in 1943. Dowling Community Garden. Let's see if there's a article about it here. It was, nope, it just says what I said already. It's in Minneapolis. What do you think of this poster, guys? Shoot to Kill, Protect Your Victory Garden poster, U.S. Department of Agriculture, 1943. Color illustration of a white woman in blue overalls and a hat with a garden trowel in her back pocket. She's spraying insecticide on a large bug perched on a ripe red tomato. This is when it started, eh? When they were teaching people, when our lovely government was teaching people to put poison on food for a bug. Now we know. And if you haven't seen the show, Companion Plants, that was a live stream we did. Go back, watch it after this, because bugs are good. We have beneficial insects, the predators to catch the prey. We need our pollinators. Do not spray, okay? This is bad information. So there's different types of gardens. Spring garden, summer garden, and fall garden. So before we break that down, let's see what you're chatting about. Dave Knight came in. Hello. Good to see you. Diva says, oh, so I have a victory garden. Wow. Miss Sharon says, I have a rebel garden, rebelling against these food prices. Diva says, yep, we sure do have victory gardens today. South Florida Sunshine, just popping in to hit the like, and we'll hit the replay crew. This is such a great subject. Thanks for popping in. What? You can? Says Storms. Storm says to South Florida Sunshine, you can't just say hello and leave us hanging like that. Carol responded to Storms. Hannah and the new pup, My Time. M just went to bed. Storms, you gotta love the old black and white back then. The photos, yes. I'm glad we have them, right? Carol is off the hook from Barry. Question, Diva says. Let's see if she put it in or not. Okay, Carol, yes, I remember the stars from my dad's stories. Diva greets Barry. Dave, I have some cookbooks from the 40s and found a ration card in it. I should have found one of those and put them on the presentation. I don't know if you want to come up and show us the ration card. I'm supposed to be shaping bread, just finished in din. Bet that is DDT. Yeah, that insecticide that they were talking about. John Doe says DDT is still available south of the border. DDT, yum. Dies from poisoning. Yes, back then, 7 was a thing. They used a lot on home gardens. Fox and Outdoors, I see you got the tower set up. How long before it goes outside, Shawnee Grows? It came in the mail 7 minutes before the show started. So this is the 5-tier green stock in, is it Razzleberry, I think it's called? And I also have buy this, get one free 3 tower, so 3 of these. And I could put it outside now, and I have a couple bags of dirt, soil, potting mix from Fox Farm, but I don't think I have enough to fill both of them, and I won't be planting inside of them till early May, end of April, if I'm feeling antsy and the weather is good. So these are how I'm going to grow food in my rental home area, because my offsite garden is not where I live. And yes, I will grow all the things out there, but it's nice to have stuff ready to go in these, out your doorstep, on your patio, out your back door, out the front door. And I can go over what I got in the bag it comes with. Setup instructions, what you can grow in them. Can you hear the seeds in there? If someone reminds me at the end, I can do that. I want to get through my information. Let's see, here's the question, Diva. My question is, why did they have to promote growing victory gardens? Were people not growing before? 1940s people? I know. I feel like, yeah, of course they were growing before. Like, what was the big behind the, like they'll say, yeah, I want to promote, the government wants to say, I want to promote your victory gardens, but what's the back end of that? What were they wanting to do, right? Newfound Drum Productions, hello. Yes, the color is so pretty. Diva in the Dirt. Miss Sharon says to Diva, I don't know, my grandparents were sharecroppers. The green stock is so pretty, I want one, but not for 4,000 Canadian dollars. Yes, I know. I know. Can you get a sponsorship, Diva? Why don't you send them an email and see what we can do? We can work that into the affiliate links. Want to write that down? I don't know if you're watching, but I'm laughing right now if you're just listening. John Doe. It was due to the amount of men going to war creating a food shortage by lack of labor force. Storms. I have never felt razzled, but I am pretty sure that color won't look good on me. Miss Sharon says to Foxed Outdoors, just now starting to sow a few and hope they don't freeze. Diva says, my grandparents grew everything. They ate and had a cotton farm. South Florida Sunshine, exactly. Canada prices be crazy. But it's on sale from $7,000. Crazy Life Homestead walks into the room. Hello, gang, she says. Good to see you here. Foxit, I can explain the whole Victory Gardens need. Newfound Drum Productions at Shawnee Grows. Is that a variegated lemon behind you? No. It's a tropical plant that came from the grocery store, and I up-potted it, and now it's this tall. It was this tall. It goes in my bathroom, and then I take it outside, if that's the thing you're talking about. This is just a leftover bouquet of flowers, if I can get it displayed correctly. And this is a tropical plant that I got at the grocery store. And it's grown, and I haven't killed that one because a lot of houseplants come here to turn into compost. Honestly, I'm not good at it. Miss Sharon says to Diva, yes, my mom's parents grew a garden and a cotton or sugar cane. You're the note taker. I shall write you a note later on. John Doe. French intensive method / square foot gardening was due to Hitler salting fields in France to further destroy their country, creating limited growing spaces. That sounds like it needs to be a live stream in itself, John Doe. What? Fox at Outdoors. Miss Sharon, when is your last predicted frost date? There, I cleared that up for you. Perfect. So back to our spring garden, summer garden, fall garden conversation. In the spring gardens, you have crops like beets, carrots, chard, leaf lettuce, kale, kohlrabi, mustard, onions, parsnips, peas, potatoes, radishes, spinach, and turnips. Spring gardens can usually be sown in the ground directly or transplanted when your soil temperature, not air temperature, soil temperature is 45 degrees Fahrenheit, and the tolerance of frost can be handled in the right conditions for amount of time. We also have the summer gardens. Summer gardens, basil, beans, pole or bush and lima, our corn, our cucumbers, okra, peppers, pumpkins, winter squash, summer squash, Swiss chard, tomatoes, and watermelon. These are our heat-loving crops you can direct sow or transplant when your soil temperatures are at 55 degrees Fahrenheit. And with that same note, we also need to talk about planting your fall and winter gardens, which I don't see many people do in my area in Minnesota. But in the middle of summer, you can put a crop of beets, carrots, lettuce, kale, kohlrabi, mustard greens, parsley, parsnip, radish, spinach, Swiss chard, and turnips in to then harvest in September, October in the fall when it gets cool again. So here on the screen, I have victory canning, preserving, drying, smoking, and pickling of foods help win the war by conserving food for future use. Nothing counts but victory is what that says. I've never seen that one before. I've seen a lot of the other ones before, though. So I do have something to share about Gardner Scott. Has a Victory Garden YouTube video that recently came out. Where's the button? There it is. So if you don't know Gardner Scott, get to know him. The video is linked in the description. Join the Victory Garden Challenge. The link is also in the description. For this Victory Garden Challenge from Survival Garden Seeds, he's partnering with, it looks like. So you can join the club. You should watch the video, this video, to figure out what it all entails, what the what's its and who's its, you know what I'm saying right now? Those things. And then we can move into our survival garden conversation. We need to factor in location, soil, crops list, the tools necessary, the irrigation option, so that's your watering conversation, and we need to keep things fed. We need to feed the microbiomes. We need to feed the soil food web to have healthy immune systems in our plants. So fertilizing is what covers that conversation. So survival garden purpose. In a survival garden, your goal is to survive, okay? Every plant in your garden should have a use that supports that goal. Grow food that you will actually eat. Consider how many people do you need to feed. Factor in calories, nutrition, and storage when choosing crops. A survival garden is a way to provide the majority or a large portion of the food your family is growing to survive. Now we can talk about a basic list. This isn't for everyone. As I stated, grow what you eat. So beans, corn, squash, cabbage, potatoes, kale, sweet potatoes, lentils, onions, tomatoes, spinach, peas, beets, carrots, berries, garlic, peppers, cucumbers, melons, herbs, and those fruit trees. I feel like that should be number one. You should have fruit trees as number one. Okay? Now I have more examples thanks to a wonderful individual called David the Good. He has a YouTube channel. He has a survival gardening blog. He has many gardening books. We talk about him a lot over here. There are links to all of his things in the description, and we're going to talk more about something special he has going on as we go. So if we wanted to look at his list, it's a beautiful list. Amaranth, asparagus, beans, beets, broccoli, buckwheat, cabbage, carrots, cassava, chia, corn, cucumbers, garlic, ginger. Then here's your grains: wheat, barley, rye, oats, Jerusalem artichokes, melons, moringa, mustard, okra, onions. But wait, there's more. Peas, peppers, potatoes, radish, squash, pumpkins, sugarcane, sugar beets, maple trees, sweet potatoes, tobacco, cannabis, tomatoes, yams, and Yupon holly. David the Good on YouTube and from the blog The Survival Gardener now has a school, and in that school there is the Grow 500 Challenge. Okay, the Grow 500 Pounds of Produce by August 1st challenge starts on February 3rd. Produce cannot come from existing trees, shrubs must be annuals. Okay, there are links. What's this one? Down below, he has a YouTube channel. This video is what's linked below, and then the school link right here is how you get into the challenge. So let's keep learning about this. His challenge ends on August 1st. For this challenge, you'll need a weigh station, and there's going to be pictures in the article linked, and there will be prizes. Okay, so the first 5 gardeners to reach the goal will get a $100 gift certificate to Daisy's Good Gardens Nursery. All the rest who reach the goal will get a signed copy of Minimalist Gardening, which is a fantastic book everyone should read. His sign-up link is in the blog post, article, and in the description of his YouTube video linked below. Oh, I forgot to share a tab. It's trying to see where I left off here in my tabs. So this is the Survival Garden School, like school.com/ the survival gardener /about. This is what you'll see over here. There's the join button. There is a fee, $24 a month. It has 195 members currently. This is where you can get in on the challenge. There's all kinds of goodies for being a member of his school. Check it out if you're interested. So we also have a creator called South Florida Sunshine who did speak about survival gardening, and she's from Florida. So I have linked her lovely live stream, Survival Gardening, in the description below. Check it out. See what was on her grow list. Topics she covered is what makes a survival gift different from a regular garden, annual versus food forest gardening for long-term sustainability, edible plants that thrive in the south and tropical climates, how to turn your garden into a gift, book recommendations from David the Good, because she also is like the OG fan of David the Good's, and we had a nice Q&A, and of course we had Diva in the Dirt there with her. So support her channel, play some playlists. Our victory gardens were historically encouraged during wartime to supplement food supply and boost morale, while survival gardens focus on long-term self-sufficiency and resilience in uncertain times. So, why aren't we focusing more on perennial gardens? Instead of replanting every season, everything, a well-planned perennial garden can feed you for decades. And it's something that you pass on as generational wealth. You fill in your annuals all around. Of course, you will always be planting every year, but why can't we have this beautiful mix of both? Heading back to the chat now before we continue. And we might have to stop for a second because I hear something happening in my house. Let me figure out where I'm at in the chat. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you for sticking around and waiting. I am a mother of 3. So, uh, hmm. Okay, I read that one. I read the French thing. Miss Sharon answered Cliff. April 17th is the last frost date. That last plant looked like a ficus. I couldn't tell you unless I identified it with an app. Crazy Life Homestead, my onions just arrived 2 days ago. Whoa! Did you share in the chat the onion variety names and where they came from? Diva says I'm right here, Storms, but should be shaping bread. Storm says, yeah, well, we are more fun than bread shaping. Yep. But bread shaping gets money. So do what you got to do. Fox it outdoors. Spinach does not like heat. Nope. I would not consider planting during the summer. Nope. I don't plant spinach at all. I did a short on plants I'm never growing again, and spinach is one of them. There's plenty of substitutes that taste better and are more hardy to grow than spinach. Tatsoi Shijumitsu. Tammy Harder, welcome to the party. What? No, David the Good free plugs? Phew, thank goodness. Oh, Anne's Place. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our conversation tonight. Fox at Outdoors. Fruit trees are kind of seasonal. You sort of get everything all at once. There are a few exceptions, though. Well, from your fruiting season and your non-fruiting season, there's this time period where you have a variety of fruit trees, even within one category. Let's say the apple. You can have an apple tree that puts apples on early, mid, and late in the year. So you have something coming in. Look in your area, your local gardeners, master gardeners, extension office, nurseries will have lists of what can come into production first. Like around here, strawberries is not a tree, but like strawberries we would have, and then there's different times raspberries come. There's two different types, early and late, and then you filter in. Okay, when do fruit trees produce here? Radio Jonesy on tour. Welcome. Hey, good day, USA. Check out Radio J Talk for conversations about being old and you don't talk to people. If you fall into that category, head on over after this live, save it to your watch list, check them out. Tell him in the comment section that Shawnee Grows sent you. I want to see how many we can send over there for him. Diva in the dirt, but he lives in a climate that can grow all those things easily. Don't get me started, says Storms John Doe 2023. Native American method was to plant one for each animal and for yourself. Consider older varieties to keep as survival seeds as they usually require less care. Keep F1 hybrids too as it's survival. I have a wonderful book that maybe we should talk about one day. I'm trying to remember the title. If it's like Buffalo Bluebird Woman or something, it's her story on how her culture and family raised food, what seeds, what styles, what tools. It has maps drawn out of like how they planted. Everyone had a job. Maybe we could talk about that in a future live stream. Let me know in the chat or in the replay just comment section below. Keep F1 hybrids. They do serve a purpose. They're great when they have these hybrids that are resistant to mildew or what are the other things? Blight, bug pressure. They serve a purpose. But yes, have your heirloom survival seeds stashed as well, because you can keep saving seed from those and get the same parent plant. Fox and Outdoors. I think I could do that challenge just with radishes, squash, carrots, and beans. I really would like to actually weigh my harvest this year. I've never done that. I'm not sure how I want to do that. Like with David the Good, he just has a station and a chalkboard with the scale, so you can just keep writing on it as it comes in. And I love that. I would like to build that, a place with like the board so I can just write it on there. I haven't thought that through yet since it's not quite gardening season, but I do think it would be really interesting to weigh the harvest, don't you think? Gandalf Smith, hi folks, I'm on a phone call, so I'll just be lurking. Oh, well, I didn't think we'd see you here. I thought you'd be over at Karaoke Land. Enjoy your phone call. Thanks for letting us play. We are still working on watch hours, which we will talk about towards the end of the show. Everybody welcome Gandalf in. Thank you for doing that. Hey Diva, go shape your dough, Marine. Take us with you though. We'll keep you company. Yes, Marine, says Storms, Radios, and Cats. Take a device with you to listen and shape the dough. Oh, Virginia Fruit Grower. Hey peeps, so good to see you here. Fox at Outdoors. Items to plant once and let them go on their own. Radishes, lettuce, kale, spinach. There is more. There is likely more. I just can't remember. It's lovely when things make a flower and a seed and they self-seed themselves in your land. Even though it's an annual, it had a seed in the soil and it comes up on its own. Also, flowers sometimes are very tasty and add to salads, and seed pods in the green stage before they get dried and have the actual mature seed are delicious as well for foods. Explore a little. For example, the radish seed pod and the kale flower is what I'm referencing. I had lettuce go to seed, and I'm not planting a garden here at this rental property, but I have seeds that have self-seeded themselves all over. So I can keep you guys updated on what volunteers this year. Lots of people here. Tasmania Island Life is now in my chat. Hello, everyone from Tasmania. If you want to see long drives with beautiful scenery, of gorgeous weather, and crazy windy roads, check out Tasmania Island Life. Guardian Prepping is here. Hello, all you awesome people. Guardian Prepping is growing a food forest in South Africa on the channel Garden Prepping. He has 2 channels. Thank you for being here. You are a legend, says Radio Jonesy. John Doe 2023. For small yards, 3 and 4 way, trees are helpful. Oh, we could shop for those where it's the one tree, but the branches have 3 or 4 different types on them. It's the coolest thing ever. Grafting is very simple to do if you want to add a new variety to your tree. Foxit Outdoors, part of the fruit tree talk. I have ambrosia, dwarf Fuji, golden delicious, and one more I sadly can't remember off the top of my head tonight. This will be my first year having 1-year-old to me fruit trees. I'm supposed to be pruning them like now. I should have already. What I'm looking for is just ones that are going to make a mess. They're growing in. There's doubles, things that are going to cause problems. I'm not doing heavy prunings on them at the moment or anything. Food Forest Permaculture walks in. Hello, greetings, Shawnee and fellow Earthlings. He has wonderful videos on pathway soil banks, how to dig out the trench, how to build the layers, how to cover it back up to build soil in place. John Doe, 2023. I'm interested in discussing primitive gardening. We shall put that on the list of things to talk about. I love input from the viewers on what I should research next. It's fantastic. There's lots of people talking and highs, and here we go. Cherry blossoms are lovely here, but wow. Andrews, Northwest Coins coming in from Alaska. Hello. Good evening, everyone. It is so good to see you, Andrew. Tell us about your life today. What's going on over there? There's always so many good stories. Bowtie, life in the garden. Good evening, all you world gardeners. Hello. We did a whole conversation about victory and survival gardens. I'm not sure if you caught any of it. We went through all kinds of wonderful pictures from back in the day in the 1940s. We talked about what was the purpose, what was the crop list, what's on your crop list, what would you plant? And how come we can't just have more perennials gardens established? Now, yes, you're going to plant every year, your annuals, you pop them in here and there, but get some perennial spaces going. Tasmania Island Life, thank you, young lady, you're very welcome. Say no to pruning. Food Forest Permaculture is Howie. He doesn't do anything. He just lets them grow naturally like nature does. Bowtie, life in the garden. I finally trimmed all my trees Monday. You should deserve a treat. You should reward yourself for getting that task done. We have DCBs. Hello, Shawnee Garden people. Good to see you. Are you letting your fruit tree go wild, or are you doing the espalier method, trailing the branches on a wire? Neither of those I'm doing. I'm keeping them dwarf size so I can stand on the ground and reach the fruit with minimal effort. So I'm not training them, and I'm not letting them go wild. Yes, Andrew. Thank you on the congratulations. Let's see, what are we at today? 506 subscribers. We had a goal to hit 500 by the end of February for sure, and as well as our watch time hours goal of 1,500 hours, which we hit early, and we had a party and we celebrated. So if you want to catch the replay on that, you can. It is not mango juice, Storms. It is a mega antioxidant blend that I think has mango and papaya, and I can't remember the others. I can send it to you later. It's like the RW and juices that come in the glass. Good evening, Miss Sharon from Destin, Florida, says Bowtie Life in the Garden. Radio Jonesy says, I've still got sand on my feet from my morning walk. Just saying. Ew, sand. Nope, not for me. Forest only. DCBs finished my spring inspections. Yes, with the bees. Started winter with 18, starting spring with 10. So in the past, is that a normal loss percentage for you? Bowtie Life in the Garden. This is one of my favorite historic garden events. I'm going to have to catch your discussion on the replay in the morning. I'm a bit of a history buff, mostly odd history. I would love that if you caught the replay for all the things that we discussed. I do want to say quickly, should we talk about a survival garden from your pantry? Ideas, things that you already have that did you know you can grow. We can talk about this on a separate live stream if you would like. Let me know in the chat. And here, tell me your stories from your experiences or your ancestors of this conversation we're having tonight, of the victory gardens, of survival gardening. What are your thoughts? What have you been told as a child? What were the stories? I think it was Diva that was like, why was there such a push besides what we were told in what we read about the history? Weren't people growing gardens before the 1940s? Isn't that what we were doing? We talked about how many millions of gardens, and we talked about the two victory gardens that are still growing today. One's in Boston, one's in Minnesota. Like what you see, don't forget to subscribe for more gardening chats. We did talk about, shout out to South Florida Sunshine Survival Garden live stream. Link is in the description. We do have a website for Shawnee Grows. Link is in the description. So what you will see when you go to Shawnee Grows is this page. And if you scroll down, we have 3 things in our collection currently. We have a free planting guide for square foot gardening A to Z. How many plants per square can you put in a space? Is this example, and that is a free PDF download. The other 2 products we have is Build Your Salad Garden. It is a step-by-step guide telling you how it would lay out, how it would look, planting guide, crop rotation, successive planting, keep it growing all year long, with a couple of other things like harvesting tips, calendar, word search, and a notes page. We want to keep track of what works and what doesn't, of course. And our last is a planning the garden checklist. It goes along with the live stream that we did. Planning the garden checklist, I think is what that live was called. So crop list and purpose, frost dates and zones, companion crops, your layout, your notes, your grid map, your harvest tracker, your planner is what's included in that. And check out the new podcast. We are now on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and Amazon Music. It is called Learn As You Grow. Currently, the topics on there are ones we've hit here in the live. It's just condensed down. Play it in your car, play it before you go to bed, get us some more followers. Here it looks like we have 9 episodes so far on there. The most recent one was Beginner Planting List. If you'd like to hear me talk some more, that's where you should go. Okay, we talked about the sand on the feet. That's where and then it jumped again. Oi. Okay, then we said the bees and yep. Okay, and then yes, that was said. Sorry to hear that, says John Doe to DCBs. Winter beekeeping is hard, it seems. Thanks, John. Bowtie says, I'm seeing 507 subscribers now. We're going to keep on growing every day in every way around here. We got things to say and things to do. Miss Sharon would like everyone to announce if she's missed dropping your link because we are a community. We should help out each other. Holla at her and she will drop it so people can click it. Thank you for being an amazing moderator, Miss Sharon. Storm says, I think you got all the links. You over there with your magic fingers? Andrews Northwest Coin says 6:42 p.m. Still daylight outside. Soon 24 hours daylight's coming around the corner. John Doe, I was told that you always feed your chickens under your fruit trees and plant next to the chicken's pen. There was a live stream that we did about growing your own food, your own feed, your own crops list for feeding rabbits, ducks, and chickens. And in the chickens conversation, there was a huge master list that we covered. And one of the ideas is putting a fruit tree around where they're going to be. Whether you're doing chicken tractoring or a stationary coop and run, the falling fruit they will enjoy. You pick your fruit as you wish. All about having that balance. Bowtie life in the garden, 1940s and 1950s, gardens were transforming from a necessity to more of a luxury as the industrial age was coming to a new season. There was a poster in here that we talked about, and it was the whole pushing insecticides campaign that the government released during the gardening time. And oops, oh, if you click enter, it goes away. I bumped the button. And it's just it opens up these doors of like way deeper conversations of all of it, really. John Doe, my grandparents lived in a tent while developing their nursery and farm. Wow. There's people that they'll buy a property, a bare property, and they'll live in a tent while they build their off-grid cabin. Radio Jonesy, my grandfather had potatoes, carrots, tomatoes as the huge crops with corn and many others, but he was trapping rabbits. Yes. Yes, check out Bowtie Life in the Garden. DCBs, Shawnee, the first winter I started with 10, finished with 0. Second winter, I started with 12, finished with 3. This winter started with 18 and I have 10 at the moment. I think that you've learned and you're doing great now then compared to the history track record on that. Because what changed? You had to offer them food? Did you have to build some kind of shelter enclosure? Did you have a different setup for your colonies? What changed that you're getting better? Because I don't think it's strictly just the weather. I'm assuming you're doing something. Yeah, Anne's place said you're doing way better. Right. Step by step, Anne, but yes, it looks like it. I still have about a month, a difficult time yet, but yes, it looks like we are doing better bit by bit. Food Forest Permaculture says, well, it's time to get some sleep. Spring has come early. The annual flowers count predicts billions of flowers. I was trying to count the blossoms, but so many. See ya, Earthlings. Have a restful sleep, Howie. Good night, be well, brother, says Foxit. Homestead Aquarius joins. Hello, Shawnee Grows. I'm here on time. Duncan, 1900 Homestead. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Everyone's saying lovely goodnight wishes to Howie. DCB says to Anne, thank you for the encouragement. It just gets hard. There are beekeepers losing all of their colonies this winter. Yeah, we had a lot of cold reach places it normally doesn't, and people and the bees weren't prepared necessarily to handle that. And there's a lot of other factors that go into what makes a colony not survive that time of year. We talked about bees in the news on our companion planting live stream at the end. Roof. You put a roof on the where everything is. Fox, it says DCBs, do you insulate your hives during the wintertime? Bow tie life in the garden. So one strange connection to that transformation of gardens was the growth of unions and development of vacation time. Suddenly luxuries came in reach of more and more of the common man. I really hope. We even talked about the modern day Victory Garden, and we spoke about how the whole COVID-19 thing happened and people started going, "Oh, I need to get my life together here and I need to take more responsibility and either grow my own food or find farmers and grow and buy locally from their gardens and farms," right? Tammy Harder, I watched a YouTube video discussing the bees. Apparently, they're not doing well. It said many hives have died. Yeah, so labs have requested surveys be filled out by beekeepers, and there's samples being sent in to see if it's the disease that happened a couple years ago in Florida, and it happened in 2007, 2008. It's like CCD, I think is what it was called or something. And then my eyes twitching. They're also looking into parasites, pesticides, cold weather, like what's happening. A lot of times the word is I've lost the word, but if you want to know about it, um, there was a man who came up on Diva in the Dirt's last live stream, which was about like gardening, homesteading, troubleshooting, or something. If someone wants to pull the link up, and he came in at the end and he talked about how people that have commercial beehives and what they do with them and how they are moved around to where they need to be is what I'll say. So if you want to hear more about that, check out the end. She's got timestamps of, was it Jevin was his name? He also talked about like an iceberg hitting someone's window. It was great. You should go check out her replay if you haven't. DCBs. I do not get that cold, Fox. I'm in Southwest Washington, so our winters are a lot of up and down, so it's hard on my girls. I am near the Columbia River, so I have a lot of rain and humidity. Bowtie life in the garden. My bean box may be suffering. DCBs. Yep, I built a roof over my bee benches to keep the rain off of them. Basically, think like a bee shed. So it's like an open pole barn. It's just four posts, 4x4s, and a roof, slanted roof, metal tin on top. Do you catch water off of that? You have a rain barrel. There's a bee hive colony set up at a wildlife reserve that we go to walk. It's for birds, and they've got it fenced with chain link fencing because they don't want people messing around. And there's a big sign, like I don't remember what it says, but something about warning. But there's no roof on it. There's no, I don't know what they do for the winter here. I mean, it was -40 for 3 days. I have no clue what they do to help those bees. Fox, it says, DCBs, did you lose any hives due to mold or the bee mites? Fox at Outdoors, I'm still trying to find a wild hive here so I can work on getting a split. We have some seriously hardy bees in New Mexico. Bowtie. Oh, yes. The whole effect of the pandemic on victory gardening is still to be sussed out. The changes in the next decade will be history worth watching. I predict a lot more great cultivators and crops. 100% Bowtie. We talked about Gardner Scott has a challenge going on, a victory garden challenge. I linked the video in the description, and in that description, there's the link to like, it's like a survival seed page or something. And then I also linked David the Good survival gardening conversation, his YouTube channel, his website, and he's doing the Grow 500 challenge to have people grow more annuals. All this stuff, all your perennials don't count for the weight, and to just encourage people that you can do this, right? And then the whole seed conversation. it's like, don't get sucked into buying things that aren't going to grow well in your zone, in your area. Like, I'm going to do a live stream where we talk about growing in a desert. And specifically, it's kind of focused on Arizona, which, depending where you are in Arizona, it's a whole different ball game. And it's kind of like that here in Minnesota. There's like 3 or 4 different zones in my state, depending where you are. I'm in 5A. And so understanding like your planting time's completely different in a desert. How do you start building soil? Where do you buy your seeds that were seed grown and harvested in that kind of climate? Because you don't want to get the genetics of a seed that was grown completely different, in a rainy state or you know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about all that. DCBs, I think most of mine are the bees just getting used up in the winter. Getting used up? They spend a lot of energy out and about. My morning might start at 28 degrees and warm up to 60 in the day. Like they leave and they don't come back? Duncan, I'm headed to the farmer's market tomorrow. What? That's fantastic. What's on your list? What are you looking for? We went to an indoor farmer's market last month. We had to drive a bit of a ways for it. We saw your typical homemade, crafty crochet things, your soaps. We bought a cribbage board. We needed a new one. We have many, but when we meet a new friend that needs their own board, we usually give one away. We have a board that's been passed down from his grandma, maybe even his great grandma, that we don't want to travel with. We don't want to break it. So, like, we bought another board. Some boards only have, if anyone knows about cribbage, they only have it set up to play 2-player, and we play 3-player sometimes. So, like, lanes and stuff are a little different. We got one where you flip the board over depending on if you have 2 people or 4 people or 3 people. Anyways, the farmer's market, we got beets and they had cabbage, and then there's your honey. I didn't see any maple syrup. Normally that's there at a farmer's market around here. We have lots of opportunities to harvest the sap to turn it into syrup. There was lots of meat options, like was it bison meat, I believe. We got bison jerky, 2 different kinds of popcorn. Yeah, I can't remember what else right now. There's more than that though. My bee box may be suffering. Stupid autocorrect. Oh. How long have you had your bee box, Bowtie? DCBs, it's like a bee shed, but the back and sides are tarp. Oh, tarp? To keep wind out? Foxit says to DCBs, can you supplement your hives with a bit of sugar on top or cell to help them preserve energy during bad times or inclement weather? If DCBs answers that, that'd be great. There's a lot I've seen and heard DCBs talk about, so I'm not going to answer for DCBs. John Doe, the varroa mites aren't as much of an issue in poor countries where they don't treat bees, causing improved genetics by default. Thank you. I feel like this could be implemented with all kinds of things. You let them genetically have an immune system built to handle the thing instead of doing what some do in the news with some certain animals and creatures. Homestead Aquarius at Bowtie Life in the Garden. I was wondering. Hard. Tammy Harder, that sounds lovely, Duncan. What state are you in? Duncan is in Missouri. Tammy is in Minnesota. Bowtie Life in the Garden, Gardner Scott, and David the Good. Wow, I did miss a lot. Sweet, great Arizona Farmer's Edge of Nowhere Farm. Gosh, I don't have my notes in front of me. If those were in my list to talk about to people, it might be. I just can't remember. So I'll just make a note. Pause. Pause, everybody, for the note. Okay. Come back over here. Fox at Outdoors. I can help with desert gardening information. Been doing it now nearly 6 years. You're correct. So yeah, like I said, the things I wanted to talk about was building the soil. When is the planting schedule? Where do you get seeds for that sort of environment. What's on the grow list, Foxit? That's where I'm thinking. I don't have it scheduled. How do you want to help? Do you want to just show up in the live stream? Do you want to send me some links in my email in the about page, shawneegrows@gmail.com? If you have YouTube videos, I like to provide material for all learners. So books, podcasts, videos, articles to read, all the formats of things. Or if you just want to show up and talk about it, whenever that happens, I'll try to let you know. DCBs. I feed my bees, Fox. Where I am at, I only have a spring maple flow and a summer blackberry nectar flow, so I have to feed during the fall so they do not eat all their stored food. Are you planting something for fall bloom? Like, is that an option, DCB, so they have food? Anne's Place, we have a farmer's market every Saturday here, and I love going there to support local farmers. Yeah, we have to drive to do a winter market. Otherwise, we just have the summer market twice a week locally for me. But a lot of the times, I just find where the farm is, and I go to their pickup if they have an on-site sale versus going to the farmer's market. Like, I just get the direct contact is what I've been doing. Okay. Foxit says, okay, I appreciate the information. I'm not a beekeeper myself, but I will try and help with some of the knowledge I've gained from other bee wranglers. Bowtie Life in the Garden. Hey, so glad to stop in and see y'all live for once. You have an early day in the morning and your bed calls. I have no doubt I will have comments when I watch your replay. Oh, please do put them in the comment section, all of your knowledge and history facts. Love your vids, Shawnee. Thank you, Bowtie Life in the Garden. I see you around in all the wonderful chats. It's good to see you stopping in here, staying up late to be with us. DCBs, Shawnee, think of a honeybee's lifetime as flying battery. A flying battery? Okay, every action they do, flapping wings for warmth, or flying looking for food, making wax, any activity uses up some of that battery. I get that, yep. Not true. Not true. Typo? Tammy, oh my. I have a bunch of cribbage boards too. I love playing cribbage, and I have my dad's old one, and it's my treasure. Played many games with him. He passed away now, though. Yes. Um, my husband's grandma is no longer with us. He does bring it over to play with his mom sometimes, but I feel like we need to glue part of it before it snaps. If I had the new board down here, I'd show you. We play on Saturday nights. And I have one. We've started playing again because I have kids, and you lose routines when you have kids. So we just recently started playing. He's going to watch the replay when he works on his vehicle tomorrow, and so I'm sorry if this is embarrassing, but I've won both games, even though I haven't been consistently playing in 7 years. I played all the years before that, though, because we've been together 16 years, and he's always played this whole time. And so I just think it's funny. Maybe he's letting me win, but I don't know. It's the way the cards are dealt, you know. You deal with what you have in your hand. Did I read this one? Bowtie Life. I've had a friend's bee box for 2.5 years. He has many around Destin for his honey business. Oh, honey business. Last count, he has 87 boxes all over town. What? DCBs. I would love to know the country that doesn't deal with mites. I watch videos of beekeepers all over the world, and all of them deal with them and lose hives to them. Okay, so what eats mites? Is it a plant? Do we need a carnivorous plant to eat mites? Like, there's got to be a solution here. And they don't have a long life cycle, right? Radio Jonesy says, hey, Homestead Aquarius, Robert, hope you're well. Great memories, Duncan says to Tammy. Foxit, I can show up and answer questions. Perfect. Like I said, I don't have it scheduled yet. It is in the research process. I've built that, and I've read stuff. Do I feel like I can talk about it yet? Not so much. There's limited times when I can pop in and go live. DCBs. Oh wait, there might be a few island nations that don't have mites. Bowtie is still here. DCBs, mostly developed national people make content. That's where most of the beetle damage is for bees, right? I'm not a pro, really just curious. Well, I think it's interesting that the mite conversation is all over. Like, that's fascinating that it's consistent in way different parts of the world as a thing. DCBs, a fall bloom would take maybe 2 or 3 acres of area to produce enough nectar for, say, 20 hives. Well, you better get planting. No, so, what's on the crops list for a fall bloom, if you don't mind me asking for your area, because I have no clue? What should we grow 2 or 3 acres of? If anyone's listening, DCBs, what should they do? Homestead Aquarius says, "Good day to Radio Jonesy. DCBs, well, I watch plenty of underdeveloped country beekeeper. To each their own. That is the best thing about opinions. Everyone gets them." That's right. We don't have to insert that inappropriate common saying here because everyone knows it. They're thinking it. Flying battery. I know. Wasn't that a great analogy? It caught me off guard. Gandalf. Sorry, Bill. You're still here. Saying hi. Flying by. Here we go. Fox Outdoors. DCBs. Do you plant sunflowers? Excuse me if that was loud. And hi, everyone in chat. DCBs. I had a hard time trying to describe how they run out of life hours. Yeah, it makes sense to me. Yes, hello again, Gandalf. Everybody's saying hello again. DCBs. The Farm Across Me does. They are a non-spray vegetable subscription. Ooh, CSA. Battery dying, gotta go, says Homestead Aquarius. Recharge, refuel, rest, do what you need to do. DCBs. Shawnee, think of a tick the side of a small dog in relation to the bee. Okay. Yeah, we have ticks. Definitely. Ticks are starting to show up in places that they weren't before, like in Canada. They had never had ticks, and then now they're there. Ticks on deer, ticks on dogs, ticks on the explorative kids. Miss Sharon says like, share, and come back to comment. That is right. Radio Jonesy, what's a mite? We have Vegemite. So, I mean, I'm not sure what to type in. Mites in beehives? Varroa and tracheal mites are two types of mites that can infest honeybee hives. External parasites. They feed on the bee larvae, pupae, and adult bees. How they spread. They deform the wings and bodies of the bees as they develop. Well, to treat it, I'm not sure what the non-pesticide use is. Now I shall look for pictures. So I think this is a picture of a mite on a bee, if I could get it to be a normal size so we can see it. Ugh, it looks like a tick. You're exactly right. Oh my god, it's so gross. Is this the one? Yeah, it's this one. Okay, so does everyone see the bee? Right? And then here, if my mouse shows up, look at that thing. It looks like a tick. Barf. I just, ugh. Looking to see if there's any more. Oh, it like ate all its wings. Ugh, I can't look at this. Getting out of my screen. Okay, where are we at here? Right here. Radio Jonesy's from Foxit. Bee mites are a parasite that kills off and destroys beehives similar to aphid infestation on a plant. Diva is back in the chat. Bread shaped and kitchen cleaned. You deserve a reward. Rodeo Jonesy, thanks, Fox at Outdoors. Duncan says hi to Diva. DCBs, the Vera mite is the main adversary that European honeybees face. The mite carries a lot of the sicknesses the Asian honeybees developed where the mites came from, so they are more resistant. That was in that article. It was talking about the Asian versus European and Western. Welcome back, Diva. Great job, Diva. Varroa, however it's spelt. Well, maybe it was the part of Canada that this person was talking to me at, which I don't remember which part it was because Canada's a really big place. So you do have ticks in your part of Canada, Diva? Bow tie life. I thought you were going to bed. I cut 17 cuttings from a Carolina jasmine. Carolina jasmine, what the heck is that? Uh, Pardon me while because you're in Florida, so this isn't something I can have them, but I'm sure. I have a huge trellis right near the bee box. I'd love to cover with it. Sourcing honeysuckle to add as well right now with the rooting cuttings. Okay, so has yellow flowers. Carolina jasmine. Yep, that's what I typed in. Wow, look at the jessamine jasmine. Let's find a good picture here. It's kind of viney. Where'd it go? Are you coming back? No, I don't like that picture. Gotta find a good one. Maybe this will work. This one. Carolina yellow jessamine. I don't know if this is the same thing that you're talking about. Look at the coverage of the, just, wow. Those are beautiful. Oh, here we go. I think this is on a trellis. Oh, where'd the picture go? Is it this one? Open image in a new tab. Okay. Here's what the monster looks like. Ta-da! Look at that. So here's the trellis. And it just went all over, up and down. It's pretty cool. It's like a whole wall. Privacy wall. Food for bees. Yeah. That was nice. That was neat. Touchwood, says Anne, we have 0 ticks here, which I find weird. In other places of Turkey, it's a huge problem, but in 8 years in my home, we've not seen any at all, even though we have fields all around us. They lay eggs. The mites lay eggs in the cell with the bee egg, and then they feed off the baby. Oh my goodness, nature is so evil sometimes. Now, please understand, I'm still a new beekeeper. This is only my 3rd winter, says DCBs. Having strawberry cheesecake Haagen-Dazs. That's right, Diva. Okay, at Rodeo Jonesy. Vegemite. I spent the summer of 1985 in Australia and learned to love Vegemite. If I'm saying that right, is it Vegemite or do I dare type this in? You put it on toast? Concentrate yeast extra. What? What? I'm in images. Let me go back to facts here. A thick, dark brown Australian food spread from leftover brewer's yeast. What? 1922, it was first sold in stores. On 1923. Okay, what does it taste like? Salty, savory, umami, rich spread, strong flavor. So, is there an ingredients list I can? Is it not sold in the US? Because we don't, it doesn't typically appeal to the American palate. A byproduct, okay, what is it made out of? Brewer's yeast, a byproduct of beer production, and vegetable extract, to which are added salt, malt extract, a range of B vitamins, including niacin, thiamine, and riboflavin. Its consistency is as firm jelly. Oh my. Fox it Outdoors. With everything DCBs, there is always a huge learning curve. That is right. You learn as you grow, everybody. Carolina jasmine grows in a lot of zones. Bright yellow walls of flowers. Yeah, it did. It was a whole wall of flowers, that's for sure. Carolina Jasmine sounds like a vegan hamburger. Insert the drum button that Radio Jonesy has. Tammy says, Diva, that sounds delicious. Her ice cream. Yep, that's it. Okay, good. I had the right flower on the board. DCBs. I still have a lot to learn about beekeeping. I do treat for mites, but I don't use synthetics. Okay, I use the natural forms of treatment. Yeah, it's one of those choices you have to make. Synthetic or natural. I do also believe in survival of the fittest to a degree. I agree too. If they can do that. Miss Sharon, food for bees, but not for thee. Bowtie. I was clearing a property of Similax vines, thick prickers. I uncovered a 30-foot magnolia covered in beautiful yellow Carolina jasmine and fell in love. What a story to discover something so wonderful. Anne's place. I often wonder if it's the snow and winter that we have here. And other parts of Turkey is warm all year, though. I don't know. We have a hard winter and there's still ticks. Okay. Vegamite. Vegamite is the pronunciation. Vegamite. Vegamite is most definitely an acquired taste. I feel like that jar would last a year or two. I mean, because you only use a little bit. Very hard to find in the US. I believe it. No way! It's in the box? Radio Jonesy? Oh my goodness. That's neat. Fox at Outdoors, Vegamite, thick, moist yeast, aka the peanut butter of yeast. Gandalf says, Shawnee girls, ask Wendy from Southern Zone and growing about Vegamite. Okay. I can do that when I run into her. Tammy, Men at Work had a song about Vegamite sandwich 1981 called Down Under. Well, Radio Jonesy knows all the songs on the whole planet, so I'm sure he knows it. Okay, Bowtie life in the garden. Okay, I give up. I'm about to pass out. I've been up since 3 a.m. working since 5. Mama Shawnee. This is really me signing off. I have a short of the Carolina Jasmine coming in a few days, everybody. Make sure you're subscribed to Bowtie Life in the Garden to see that short coming up. Thank you for spending extra bonus time with us this evening. Please get some rest. Veganite, veg as in vegetable. Good night, Bowtie. Hugo Homestead, hello, welcome. We have kind of talked about everything so far with our victory and survival gardens. Crops list, history, pictures of posters that they put out from the government, everything that happened with our pandemic that we had and how people started growing. Right now, we're just kind of chit-chatting. We are at 1 hour and 17 minutes. There is not going to be a show over on South Florida Sunshine as far as I know. So I'm not super antsy to hit the end stream button, but if we run out of stuff to talk about, then I'm not going to sit here. You know what I mean? I don't have anything to say. I have a couple announcements to make still. We'll save that for the next little bit if we don't have anybody talking. People are saying goodnight to Bowtie and hello and welcome and good evening to Hugo Homestead. Gandalf says hi, CB. Anne's place. I'm going to search for breakfast now. It's 7:17 a.m. here, and yeah, it's early, but I have hunger pains now after all the Vegemite sandwich talks. Laugh out loud. Go get your breakfast, Anne. Thank you for joining us. Bowtie Life has one more message. Y'all have a blessed day. Oh, the love in this community is just overwhelming sometimes. I appreciate you all. Good night. Yes. Shut the phone down. Gandalf says, what plants are those behind you, Shawnee? Well, that's a good question. Unless I used the app plant identifier, I have no clue. This is a tropical plant that was like this tall when I got it at the grocery store. And it hasn't died. It's in my bathroom. And in the summer, I take it outside. This is leftover bouquet daisy. I don't know what this thing is. Poofy one. This is just greenery. Yeah. Let's see. And then the other one is another tropical Somebody in the chat was naming names of them. I don't know. From the grocery store that was a wee baby, and I got it this far so far. Because I'm not good at houseplants, y'all. I'm not good at them. Foxed Outdoors says, don't forget, folks, the Three Sisters is still a good set to grow in a limited space. Yes, plant the correct Three Sisters, because a lot of times folks get it wrong. So it's a tall, dent flint corn, not a sweet corn. It's a pole bean for drying and storing, and then a winter squash on the ground, your choice. Remember to check out the description for all the links to the articles. There might be items for gardening in there. Definitely the YouTube videos we talked about and their links to their challenges. We have Gardner Scott with the Victory Garden Challenge. We have David the Good with Survival Gardening, Grow 500 Challenge. As far as over here on Shawnee Grows, we have the next goal to hit 3,000 watch hours on the channel by May 31st. So I thank you all for hitting our 1,500 watch time hours before the expected date. Once I have the total hours up to February 28th, I can say, like, here's what we actually did. Like, we superseded the goal. We did have a celebration party. You can check out that live stream if you want. It's a little different of a replay since it's not there wasn't any research. It was just us having fun. We had some guests on panel. I won't know till like March 6th what the hours are up to the 28th for the channel, because that's the way they are loaded to the studio. And if you didn't know, we do have a live stream coming up on Sunday in 2 days, and it is not your typical show. We are not doing a research discussion. We are going to play a game. It's called Words on Stream. We played a little bit of it in our party that we had, our celebration. That was on Monday, I think. There's room to chat. We're going to see if we can get anybody that wants to play. I'm going to try and incorporate once a month kind of a laid back hangout, because it's just important to have fun still, and it's the winter time for me still, so I'm not gardening essentially like outside. I have stuff in the house obviously, but it's a chill hangout on Sunday with me. The live stream is created, so you can hit the notify me bell button thing if you want to come hang out and play the game. It's just another way that we can get some watch hours, and I don't have to prepare much for it, because it does take a lot of work to do research for these things, so I understand what I'm talking about. Radio Jonesy says, during the Second World War, Vegemite captured the Australian market. Marmite was unobtainable, and the Australian army supplied Vegemite to its troops. So I could see that. I imagine it's like shelf stable. Foxed Outdoors, my first try on the Three Sisters was sweet corn, Kentucky pole beans, and zucchini squash. Corn beans gave me nearly 20 pounds, and I think I got somewhere around 50 pounds of squash. Gandalf says, Jonesy, Marmite? Marmite? Do I dare type that in? British savory food spread based on yeast extract invented by German scientist Justus von Liebig. It is made by byproducts of beer. It looks the same. 1902 was when it came out before Vegemite. I have a cut in my mouth. I don't know why. Well, let's do Marmite versus Vegemite. The key difference is Vegemite tends to be thicker, darker, and has more intense, slightly bitter taste compared to Marmite. Marmite is milder and sweeter, thinner. Okay. Marmite uses our barley and oat and rye, Well, Vegemite uses wheat and barley, and they have different amounts of B vitamins. Well, I didn't know this existed whatsoever. Here is the Sunday Live. Hit the notify me. If you want to see what it looks like. This is the one you're looking for. So yes, words on stream. Game night, chill. Let's take a break and enjoy a relaxing game night. Join me for a fun words on stream session as we hang out, chat, and unwind during the final days of winter. Whether you're a word puzzle pro or just here for good vibes, everyone is welcome. Please, let's talk about Plus, let's talk about growing our own food, shopping locally, and getting ready for spring planting while we play. See you in the chat. It is BYOB for that. Learn something new. Cool, says Gandalf. That's right. Yes, Marmite was an English version. It sounds like they came first before the Australians attempted to create that. Foxed outdoors. Ooh, I'm early, just wrote in that chat. That'll probably be disappeared by the time we do the live. Is Diva in the Dirt here? Are you doing a live tomorrow night? We can promote that. You should be subscribed to her anyways, whether she goes live or not. She has awesome chicken content. Urban gardener, homesteader, all kinds of fun information over on her channel, Diva in the Dirt. Usually goes live tomorrow night at some time. You think I'd remember because it's the same time every week, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answer. It says we have 13 here. I appreciate all 13 of you. The viewers in the back that aren't in the chat, I see you, I hear you, even though you're not saying anything, if that makes sense. Diva says, yes, I'll be live. So that's where I'll be tomorrow night, hanging out over there. And the time is 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. If I didn't say your time, you know your time. You know. I don't have to do it for you. Radio Jonesy, Vegemite, gas, vitamins added. I don't know if you meant to say gas. Has? I bet you it's has. Vitamins added. Oh, here it is. Has. It's like, there's no way that was an ingredient. So what we've discovered is possibly a future live stream about survival garden from your pantry. Things that you already have that maybe you didn't know you could plant. We could do a live about that. There was a suggestion to do, I can't remember how he worded it. John Doe said it. That content we can do. I have that book that we can talk about. We had the opportunity for you to tell me your stories and your experiences from your ancestors about the Victory Garden Survival Garden conversation. We've talked about everything I wanted to talk about. South Florida sunshine back for a bit. Hannah and the new pup needed me. So if anyone has anything they want to say, now is the time. Otherwise, we're going to hit end stream. We're almost at an hour and 30 minutes. I don't have anything else to talk about. I'm just here reading comments. Check out my beautiful new green stock that I got. Buy one, get one free. The sale is over now, and this was a limited time color. They do have a new sale. Oh, I didn't open the package. We got to do that, you guys. Nobody reminded me. Here's the cute sticker. Here is the cover. Oh, okay, let's see. Vertical planter instructions for original and leaf. So which one do I have? Looks like it has the deeper pockets. I don't remember. Uh-oh. I'm not happy with this seed I got. Look what I got, you guys. Bloomsdale spinach, the crop I don't grow. We shall gift that. They have a thank you card. That was pleasant of them. It's nice cardstock material. So, in the original, the planting list is cabbage, cantaloupe, cauliflower, coleus, corn, dwarf variety. What? Corn? There's a dwarf variety of corn? Cucumber, dianthus, dusty miller, eggplant, leek, mum, nasturtium, okra, a dwarf variety, pepper, petunia, potato, squash, sweet potato, tomato, watermelon, and zucchini. So, fill each tier. So, tier, with 1 cubic feet of high quality potting soil. Each planter is 10 inches deep. That's the original. So, the leaf, each tier is only 0.75 cubic feet of potting soil, and each planter is 7 inches deep. So your shallow root list is alyssum, arugula, basil. Where's my hand? Beet, bok choy, broccoli, bush beans, carrots. There's a bunch of asterisks next to these. I'll have to read the note here. Cilantro, dill, fennel, garlic, kale, lavender, lemon balm, lettuce, marigold, mint, onion, oregano, pansy, parsley, parsnip, peas, radish, rosemary, sage, spinach, strawberry, Swiss chard, thyme, and turnip. What's the asterisk about? Can have 3+ per pocket. 3 in a pocket. Okay. So to assemble, it's very simple. Each tier, you put your soil in as you build it. You start planting. And then there's these discs. Where's my hand? This is the gray disc that goes in the center. You're lining up the hole. Don't get soil in that part. And then you stack it. And it tells you how the connectors go together. Because there's like little, I'm going to call it teeth that go. So then when you're watering through this top part where there's no soil. This is where it swirls around and goes in. There's little, if you can see the light coming through those holes, and then the center hole, that's the water. Don't put soil in that part. I'm just going to set it there for now. Initially, you may need water more than once through the reservoir as well as in the pockets to thoroughly moisten the soil. They also have stands and wheels and covers and trellises for, like, they have all kinds of attachments for the green stock, which I don't have a link to in my description. I'll probably have to add that after the show. This is how the water system works. Swirls around and goes throughout each of those gray discs that you guys put in. If you have one of these, you built it, whatever. Caring for your plants, choose the best location. Water, check on them. Put it on a level surface. And then, if it's high winds in your land, like Wyoming or something, keep that in mind where you're putting your planter, right? Peterson family is who developed this since 2014. Do any of you have green stalks? Let's see what seed packet's in the other one, because I got 2 of these. What do you think this one is? I think it's spinach. Do you know by my face what it is? It's the spinach. I'm not planting that. I'll plant it to feed to chicken. I don't know. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Okay, so South Florida Sunshine. Can't wait to listen to what I missed and more of your podcasts. Yes, we are now on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, And Amazon Music. I was able to get the podcast on there because some people said that they couldn't get Spotify in their country. What you're looking for is this picture, Learn as You Grow. That is my podcast. Follow. You can comment on the podcasts. You can share them. You can rate them. The most recent one was Beginner Planting List. Tammy, it's cold and windy and dark out. The wind was gnarly today. Hey, Diva says, hey, open the package. Fox at Outdoors, I currently have nothing more to add to tonight's conversation, at least for now. Saving more for tomorrow's slot. South Florida Sunshine, I am on my phone. Is that all pansies? My grandmom's favorite. Is that all pansies? Like this? This is just that bouquet that we already talked. Like you've seen this plenty of times. Or did I show a picture of a flower? What? Oh, maybe it was this. Is this pansies? Okay, I get you now. We've figured it out together. Yeah, a lot of older people like that flower that has no pollen for bees and has zero purpose. Tim Tams. What is a Tim Tam? Cherry ripe. What are we naming right now? Fox at Outdoors. Found something to add. I cannot grow in those tiered containers past 3 or 4. Too much wind here. And it blows over the planters. Yeah. So these are geared towards your balcony growers, your patio deck, small space. But yeah, consider the whole wind thing. I don't know if there's a way to anchor them to the ground. I haven't been on the website to see. Like mine's up against the house. So it's got a wind block. And then I had it on the deck, but I don't have wheels built for it, or I didn't purchase wheels. Like, you can always build something yourself or buy what the company offers to rotate it. And I felt like the one side wasn't getting enough sun. So Florida Sunshine, I thought Tim Tams go with tea. Is it also a flower? Yeah, it looks like food in Australia. It's a chocolate biscuit. 2 malted biscuits separated by a light hard chocolate cream filling and coated in a thin layer of textured chocolate. Cherry ripe. What was that? Are you listing things that's in the box? Cherry ripe is a chocolate bar made by... Oh, it's made by Cadbury. I love Cadbury. It contains cherries and coconut? What? Oh, my dad would love that. Why don't they sell... Did they sell that here? Yeah, I love the Carmelos. Those are my favorite. Violet crumble. What's inside of this? It's a chocolate bar. Honeycomb? What? Honeycomb toffee? Is it a honeycomb for real, or they're talking about the shape? The toffee is the shape of a honeycomb. Are there actual honeycombs in this bar? I must know. Because that's crazy. Well, it sounds delicious. It's colored. Purple and yellow packaging. Okay. Addendum. It will blow over the planters with plants taller than 4 feet. You can drill a hole in the center and put a pipe through the cheaper ones. Carmelo koalas? They make it in the mold of a koala shape? Is that what you're saying? Why? That's hilarious. That's what it says. Just like the Easter Bunny stuff. It's a koala. Sorry, I'm not showing the pictures. Well, that's going to be fun. With a whole saw, I meant Foxit. He says thumbs up. Gosh, Carmelo bars were what we gain my freshman 15, I love them. My husband he's going to watch this again, and I'm sorry. While he's working on his vehicle tomorrow, he's going to listen to it. But he used to bring me Carmelos every time he went to a gas station. Gandalf says, fresh baby spinach is great in salad. I did just buy a salad mix of baby greens and spinach from an organic company. And I bought cabbages, yeah, you can call it red, right? It's red, it's purple, and green to slice up and put in the mix. And I just bought the matchstick carrots already sticked. So that'll go together, and then I can add whatever I want. I did buy mini muncher cucumbers. I have 1 tomato on my indoor grown micro dwarf orange hat cherry tomato plants that have been taking forever to produce something. I have no good cheese that'll go in the salad. I didn't buy any cheese for it, but I have pepitos, pumpkin seeds, and I have sunflower seeds, and I have some dried fruit, I'm pretty sure. And we're going to grill intensively this weekend, all of the proteins, since it's nice out. What else do I put in a salad? I don't have any croutons. See, now I feel like I should go buy some croutons and bacon bits. Miss Sharon, have a good night all. I'm about to turn into a pumpkin. Rest well, Miss Sharon. Thank you for joining us tonight and all your help with your links and sharing kindness. Jack and the Beanstalk. Hey, Shawnee, Miss Sharon, South Florida. Hello, I've been listening while doing stuff. Caught most of Monday's show as well. Have a great night all. Thank you for doing that, catching the replay, being here in the background. I appreciate all of the support. Woohoo, yay, you put them on more outlets. So proud of you, and can I borrow some of that brain of yours? Oh, yeah, I was like, outlets? Yeah, and what I'm trying to test now is when I upload a new podcast to Spotify, is it putting the new one on the other platforms, or do I need to manually remember how I did that in the first place, actually, and each new episode send the RSS feed to each I don't know yet. I have to figure that out. Okay, pansies, you found them. Sorry, yes, they do. Think because it meant winter was over. Be right back, says Gandalf. Jay Dixon, hello. What are you doing awake? We're just hanging out at this point. The whole first hour of the show, we talked about victory gardens and survival gardens. We looked at posters from the war and what the government was putting out for propaganda. We looked at maps of what a garden would look like. We looked at people and their gardens. There are 2 victory gardens from the wars that are still in operation. One is in Boston, one is in Minnesota. We talked about how modern day victory gardens are coming back because of what happened in 2020, 2019, and on with life in the world. We talked about Gardner Scott has a video and a challenge sort of about growing a victory garden, and there's a link in his description to the survival seeds page for more information on that. And David the Good has their survival gardener blog, and he has a school. So in the video I linked for him, it talks about the school and the Grow 500 challenge and what that all entails. We talked about South Florida Sunshine's channel, just did a live about survival gardening in more of the tropical Florida heat loving climates, to check that out. And then share personal stories. What did you hear growing up about the victory garden? What was the must grow crops? We went over crop lists. We talked about the introduction of insecticides at that time. South Florida Sunshine says, at Radio Jonesy, making me want to visit the British store. Violet Crumble is my other favorite. Carmelos I can damage, not really. Oh, Carol, my brother ordered a case of Carmelos at one point because he has that ability. Not really honeycomb, crisp, sweet like honey, and it melts in your mouth. Okay. Jay Dixon, I will catch up. Thought I would still jump in. Oh yeah, you're fine. I can't believe we're still talking, but that's great. We got to get our watch hours. So the Carmelo from Cadbury is what I love, but then Jonesy was talking about the Carmelo koala. So it's shaped as a koala. So it reminds me of like the Easter Bunny stuff. And it looks like it's mostly chocolate and not a good amount of caramel, honestly, from this picture. But we will find out. He was listing all kinds of wonderful snacks that I never heard of, right? It makes me want to get like one of those subscriptions to worldwide treats for the kiddos for homeschooling. California Ford 44. I hit the like button. Have a wonderful, blessed weekend. I'm getting ready for work. Have a wonderful time at the work. Tammy Harder. My husband sometimes brings me Carmelos too, is my favorite. Yes. South Florida Sunshine. The replay is always available. Only talking goodies from Oz. Thanks to Radio Jonesy, naming all the amazing things. Now I want real Cadbury. Hey, Jay Dixon, says Carol. That is really sweet. Yes. Oh, Radio Jonesy secrets. Did you get my email, by the way? Are you? If you're, let's see, 10:44. You're still here. Um, I sent you an email with the clip. Well, I couldn't send the video clip directly because it was too large, and so I just did a unlisted video. And if you can't download it to add it to the thing you're doing at Radio J Talk, let me know, and I will figure out a different way. I might just refilm it because it's not super great. But I tried. I remembered and I tried. Is the Victory Garden, Minnesota, where you could go take a video? Well, I'm not a traveler, Carol. Do I? I mean, there's a oh, where's the picture of that? There's a, what is it called? Like a conference, plant expo coming up in March that of course I could take you guys to and stuff, but it's like 3 days. This is the one in Minnesota, Dowling Community Garden, established in 1943, and it still goes on today. So, um Mike should do it. Mike should go there. That's my answer to that. And do a video. Um I feel like in future Shawnee's world and life, sure. But in current exhausted mom life that hates people and crowds and driving in a vehicle, period. I don't want to do it. I'm sorry. Of course, it would be great content for the channel. I wish I could be that person for you guys. If someone came and picked me up, sure. South Florida Sunshine. Wait, who's getting these packages? I am. We're doing homeschool lessons about Australia. Cadbury that Jonesy has is way more yummy than the Hershey made Cadbury here. Oh, it's different. Okay. And yes, Carol, some goodies from Australia taste fine, and when you travel, that's when you know what you miss. Jay Dixon, we have koala cookies, different than what you're describing. No koalas were harmed. So it's a cookie. If I just type in koala cookie, I'm going to move this so I don't make a disaster over here. It has a different language on it. I wonder if this is what. No, that's Etsy. Where's this one? I can't show that link. Asian chocolate-filled cookie snacks. Panda, koala. I don't know what. I don't know. Maybe. Carol, I used to get them as a teen at Koala Blue. When I worked there, Radio Jonesy, it ruined me for a while, like years, because they closed and I could not find Violet Crumbles here. Well, now it's like, okay, Amazon, you're gonna ship me. Okay. I'm glad you saw it. I don't know if it worked though. Oh, okay. Well, if you have to record the screen, there's got to be a different way I can do it. Because I used my phone for that one. So maybe if I use my computer and I download the video file and send it that way, it'll work. Because my phone was like, "Meh, it's too big of a." Because I don't think that's good quality to record the screen, is it? I guess you let me know what you want to do. J. Dixon, vastly different chocolate, much better. Sweet, that is so nice. The kids will love that experience, Radio Jonesy. Gandalf is back. Welcome back to this. We're still hanging out. 1 hour and 50 minutes. Keep giving me things to say. 10 more minutes for sure, and then we'll see where we're at. If anyone wants to join me on panel to discuss things so I don't have to talk anymore, let me know. Self-Water Sunshine. Right, crunchies are the same as violet crumbles. I found out. Okay, crunchies are the same as violet crumbles. I found out, and our Publix had them suddenly. Oh, is it a different? Is it a different company? Like crunchies versus crumbles? Yeah, so I can figure that out on my computer for sure. The zip file, it's compressed. I know how to do that on a computer, but not on my phone. And like I said, it kind of isn't a good video. For sure, 9 more minutes. Gandalf says, "Got to make that 3,000 watch hours, right?" Yeah, it's this battle between making a topic and then keeping it replayable. We've now had the last half be chit chat, which is fine. It might be more interesting to people than the the more structured format on the beginning. We'll see when we check the analytics how many people left after an hour, right? South Florida Sunshine, I think a different name for different countries. Okay, so what does that mean? Dropbox? Is that I don't understand what that means, Storm. So why don't you do you want to come up and tell me about it, or do you want to talk about it privately? Because is that like a thing? What does that mean? Yeah, we were talking about the goal, the next goal for the channel is 3,000 watch hours by May 31st. We're going to talk about all kinds of things between now and then. I plan on still doing live streams during the gardening season because I just like them so much, if that's okay. J. Dixon, Lote, I'm not sure how to say it, koalas, March cookie with chocolate cream. 4 out of 5 stars, 21.63. I pay 50 cents Canadian for a package. They're only okay. Fill an empty space. How many? It's 1.45 ounces. Okay, Storm says you can add bigger files to Dropbox and send the link as a download. Dropbox is a free cloud-like storage and sharing website. Okay, it's free. I like that word. Website, it's very secure. So I go to what, dropbox.com? Is that how I get there? And then I sign up, and then he has to sign up, and I get like a username, and then I put the file in. I don't I'm gonna have to like watch it. I'm a big like how does it work A to Z is I need to know that. I'm sure there's a video about it. We have the koala cookies, but I'm gluten free, so never tried them, says Carol to Jay Dixon. I thought they were Asian. Tammy Harder puts some beautiful flowers in the chat. Thank you. Storm's coming in at just the right time. You have a storm, or are you talking about Barry? Because he's been listening the whole time. Okay, yes, it's a We had them called koala yummies when I was a kid. Cookie filled with chocolate. Yes, it's just Dropbox.com. Okay. I have to go and drive down to pick up Mrs. Radio from downtown. You drive safe. Don't hit any wallabies. Radio Jonesy. Okay, we have 6 more minutes till we hit the 2-hour mark. It's funny how we talked about treats and stuff this last half. The koala cookies are next to the Pocky, or however you spell those cookie sticks. Gandalf says later. Jonesy. Carol says drive safe. Radio Jonesy. Tomorrow we do have Diva in the Dirt going live. We spoke about that. And then we showed that I am going live on Sunday for games. We're just going to play words on stream. And if we want to have people on panel talking as we're playing, that's fine. If you want to stay in the chat and talk about things as you play, we can do that, because not everybody's going to want to play. But I can still read the comments on my other screen. Right. What is it with late night talk of goodies? Yeah, we can't grow those. Radio Jonesy says send file to email. Got it. I'll figure that out the best I can. I'll remake a video that's more better, because that one was kind of lame. What do we got? We gotta talk about something for 4 minutes. Somebody say something so I can read it. Carol says I need to start playing word games on my phone so my brain can handle the challenge. Well, no, I could find another game that would be good for the people that don't like word games. It's just hard when I don't want to download anything and I need it to be free. Something. Thank you, Barry. Appreciate that. I had a hard time playing because I'm doing all this other stuff. So for me to focus on the tiles and to build a word was difficult. I'd rather just read what people are putting up. That was more fun, right? Jay Dixon says, I facilitate other gardening lives on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I used to help a lot more in the past. Only 3 days a week? I thought for sure you had a bigger caseload than that. That was fun, just was flustered. Who's crazy enough to plant mint in the ground? I've done it on accident. So I had it in a container and a root snuck out the bottom, and now I have mint, which I've ripped out a lot of. And I like to use just the leaves, not the stem, because I don't want it to regrow everywhere. Just the leaves, and I sprinkle it around plants. It's supposed to have a smell and confuse pests, and chop and drop, of course. Organic matter helps feed the soil. I have a feeling, though, like this spring, it's going to be still in the ground, and it will be the next renter's lovely gift. We'll see if I got all the raspberries out. I'm sure there's going to be some popping up, and I have to decide, like, I already have a bunch dug up to move to the offsite garden, and it's like, well, do I leave these? Like I said, it's going to be such an interesting year since I'm not growing anything purposefully in the ground in this site, the rental home. What volunteers and comes up. I'm going to have sunflowers. I'm going to have nasturtiums for sure. I'm going to have calendula, because those always self-seed themselves really well. So then I have to decide, like, do I let the volunteers just go and be free, or do we try and like put the yard back to a yard with grass for the next renter? Because eventually we don't have a scheduled time and date of when we're leaving. It's just it's going to happen. It has to happen. We can't stay here forever. And then back to the mint. I've also seen someone plant it around their pond, and man, did that just she was ripping it out by the root. Huge armfuls of mint. It was insane. It was crazy. Jay Dixon, I had 5 more, but then left them fade off. Too much responsibility. Yeah, because the way you run your moderation is very keeping the chat going, putting information out there, it's not just about whacking trolls. You have a very specific style of moderation, so yeah, only do what you know you can do well in, right? Tammy has a sentence that's funny to me. Mint is definitely the wild child. Jay Dixon, at my last property, there was a large section of all in-ground mint, 4 feet by 10 feet. Wow. What does this say? Carol says to Jay Dixon, you have or had another channel facilitating those. I think she just uses her Jay Dixon channel to moderate all 3 days. In the past, I can't speak for her, so we'll see what she says, but I think it's just been the one channel username. Carol says mint stays under control here, so different down here. Because it burns up, I'm guessing, because it's Florida. Kind of like Miss Sharon modding. Yeah, I don't know where else Miss Sharon mods for Diva and Carol. I'm not sure where else she mods though. But yeah, she does a great job at staying active in the chat with posting links to what I'm talking about and keeping up with that, as well as channel links and announcements. And thankfully, we don't have too many crazy things happen in the chat. Jay Dixon, I prefer minimal mall cop, like to make deeper learning opportunities. Carol says, oh, okay. Oh my goodness, we made it. It's 2 hours, everybody. So say your goodbyes, your farewells. I shall see you all at Diva in the Dirt tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard. And then Sunday, I will see everybody. I think it's 9 p.m. Central here at Shawnee Grows, where we're going to play Words on Stream because it's still winter and gardeners should allow themselves some fun time. But we, of course, will be talking about gardening freely in the chat. And if anyone wants to come up on panel, you won't see us. We can't have our video, like the little box, on when the Words on Stream game is playing. It just doesn't look, you can't see what we're doing. But when we take breaks, like when we lose a round, we'll come back and just do like a video chat and then go back to the game. As long as people show up and are playing. I can't do it on my own. It's not something I'm good at, that game. But it's just another way for me to get watch hours and not have the pressure of like research topic. I do have topics coming up. We're going to talk about preparing the soil, whether that's starting fresh, preparing to plant in something that's already been growing, a garden. And we should talk about handling contaminated soil. There's lots of things that can happen in our lives and in our world that can make soil dangerous to grow in. And so we can talk about ways to remedy that. And then growing in a desert climate, a lot of the articles and information I'm looking at is specific to Arizona. That was a request by a subscriber. I couldn't think of the word for a second. And so that's what I've been researching so far. Those lives have not been scheduled, but keep an eye out for them. It's only when I can find time with all the things I have going on. Diva has claps. Jay Dixon says bye all. Tammy Hart says bye, good night. Self-Force Sunshine says woohoo, see you at Divas. Foxlet says be well, be safe, and have a great 2025 garden season. Y'all be good, says Homestead Aquarius. Jay Dixon, Self-Force Sunshine, Meep. Segway Mall Cop off duty. Yeah, there's a lot of like robot-y jokes, kind of what I've noticed with people and Jay in chats. And hey, the bushes are emptying now. Emptying out. Good grief. Reading after 2 hours is difficult, apparently. Sunshine, Robert says, Carol saw the movie in my mind immediately to Jay Dixon. Storms. Oh, so soil from Chernobyl is a bad idea. Now that I don't have that in my presentation, actually. Very, like, nuclear toxicities. I should add that. So hopefully I'll remember to do that. Yes, thanks all. Check out everything we talked about. No, John, absolutely not. No. I love Minnesota. I don't think I'll ever leave, hopefully. Now it's funny because the snowbirds, the people that go to live somewhere warm, always choose Arizona from Minnesota. You know, a lot of people, I don't know, like from Canada and other states go to Florida, but all the people I know in Minnesota that leave, they go to Arizona. And no, it was a subscriber that lives in Arizona that I talked to, and they're sometimes here in the chat, not too often. I think they want a garden and they're not really sure what to do. So I thought I'd just designate a live stream to that and try to make it about deserts. But all the information is pretty Arizona specific. Sunflowers are fantastic at pulling out toxins, and then you wouldn't be able to eat from them that year. You would need to dispose of them off-site. Animals and vegetation have adapted to the radiation. Go figure. Right. That's, I mean, unfortunately, one of the beautiful things about the nature in itself, how it has that communication system and it changes its genetics, good or bad. Interesting science experiment. No, I like Minnesota very much. A lot of sunflowers and they have to burn them all. Yeah. And then nuclear acid rain. A lot of. She has a spelling typo correction here. Okay. Grow every day in every way. Learn as you grow. See you around.